With monster catching games, there's no getting around comparisons to Pokemon, and with Nexomon it's no different, especially since they are so close to being the same game. Not saying that it's an exact carbon copy, there are some differences, for better or worse. The story is one of the biggest differences to Pokemon, war between humans and the Nexomons, then humans befriending those Mons and become Nexomon tamers. The story is very basic and has some nonsense in it, like some Super Sentai / Power Rangers stand-ins for some reason. There is also some terribly placed story recaps where they literally recap what just happened 2 seconds before. Thankfully, there's only 2 or 3 of those. Instead of gym leaders, there are overseers, which are real pushovers, and we befriend a lot of them along the way to overthrow the Nexolord, which is sort of like an evil Pokemon champion. He reminds me of Lance with the design. The Nexolord wants to resurrect Omnicron, the god figure in the first Nexomon, and wants to destroy the world. It's an interesting premise at first, but by the end of the game I was disappointed, and there's a constant boss rush at the end of the game, but there was no satisfaction, which is mostly because how the battle system is, and the twists are easily seen through. There is a post-game and forces your Nexomon to go through a rebirth, resetting them to level 5 but also has better stats. There are key items that are just sitting around the world, so grab everything you see with a sparkle so you can miss out on running shoes, the experience share, the experience multiplier so everyone on the team can get the full value of that battle, so you can level up everyone equally pretty much. Another item that helps you find rare mons. I actually missed this one, so I had to go back to it when I was in the post game. Nexomon is turn-based, 4 moves, various status effects, standard Pokemon clone flavor. With Nexomon, I found it to be incredibly easy, even easier than the recent Pokemon entries. The elemental types with strengths and weaknesses in this game, to me it feels like there's no really way it's implemented in normal gameplay outside of boss battles. You can easily become over-leveled early on, and sure that can be blamed on my gameplay style, but when there's 310 Nexomon in the game, and they're new to me, so I want to see what's out there, so I took any wild battle I can get. In Pokemon, you can get somewhat over-leveled, but it does stop you because if you're too high level, those Pokemon won't listen to you in battles until you get the corresponding badge. That isn't the case with Nexomon. For the most of the game, I was just one-shotting mostly everything with my starter until the Tamer battles. Here is where the game gets cheap in a way, and one of my biggest complaints. When you knock out one of their Nexomon and they bring another one out, they get a free hit. It doesn't ask you if you want to switch out, therefore resetting the fight like in Pokemon. It doesn't feel like there's much strategy to engage in here, like Pokemon with the types advantages. It just feels like a battle of attrition, compounded by the fact that with those types advantages and disadvantages, they only have effective, negative, and neutral. None of that double and the like from Pokemon. So just grab 5 other Mons, level them up, battle it, and just battle it out. You'll most likely lose 2 or 3 Mons, but you'll end up winning the battle anyways. I find that damage values are super inconsistent and whack. Like, certain moves shouldn't be able to deal hundreds of damage to me if I'm like 30 levels higher. Even though if it's like a normal move and somewhat effective, it should just be like maybe 95, 100 at best, not like 230. And take half my health down. Other times it does feel correct, but it's few and far between. A few things this game does right is when we level up, we get healed and our stamina regens, saving us money on items. But with the 4 moves, it shares its own stamina pool, so none of it's not like PP in Pokemon. All those moves just share the same, and you can pick your moves. You don't need the move tutor and everything. You don't just know HMs, TMs. The monster catching in Nexomon is somewhat simple. There's only 2 items to catch with, normal traps and golden traps. Golden ones give you a 100% catch rate, they're like the Master Ball. The other ones are just normal that can be bought easily and you can waste through them. You can just throw them at Mons with full health and you'll catch them some of the time. By the end of the post-game, you'll be swimming in golden traps, so don't be afraid to use them. 310 Mons for the first game is too many, Sure, there are some that have evolved forms, but it's too much. Remember, Pokemon started out with 151, and this is a little over half of that. The designs for the Nexomon aren't bad and inoffensive. There are some that are straight up baffling. Catching legendaries are our biggest grind. First you have to find 45 crystals, and then you can get them to spawn anywhere, even in towns where there's no grass, so you can't really do anything. The best option is to go into the sewer and just swap between screens. The real kicker here is you can also get spawns of legendaries you've already found, so you can get really unlucky or you can get really lucky with this RNG. The biggest grind in this game is the 65 warden fights at the end of the post game. They consist of tamer battles with 3 to 6 Nexomon on a team. They're spread out all across the map, and it's such a slog. So going from to the start again, going to the end section, and then maybe you'll miss some because you didn't go into a certain door, but there's guys out there if you miss one. There is a fast travel system, but it feels borderline useless. There's no interconnectivity like the other Pokemon titles, where you can go from one route to another, pop out and fly to any town you want and land in front of the Pokemon Center. Here it'll drop you somewhat in the beginning of the route or close to the beginning of the town. The achievements in Nexomon are what you would expect from a game like this. Standard story progression, catching each legendary, defeating all tamers, catching all the Nexomon, getting to level 99 twice, winning 500 battles. It's really easy, just somewhat of a grind. Towards the end with those legendaries and wardens, can become a pain when you're catching all those mons if you aren't really paying attention to what you're missing in the decks. It does tell you when they evolve, so that's good. I wish in the status screen of your team it would show you what number they were and all that info, so you can see easily instead of going through the list all the time. This took me 31 hours to get all the achievements. Would I recommend this game? Sure, only if you're into Pokemon and want something to tide you over for a few days. Well, hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Like, comment, subscribe. See you later.